So I never knew anything about Ireland until I moved there, until I came here. And at that point in time, I was like, if I go back home now voluntarily, I don't think I would make it. I don't think I would survive, you know. So I said, okay, I'll try my choice, I'll try and see what happens, But if worse comes to worse, if that the way my life is meant to be, it's meant to be. My life before I came to Ireland was in Nigeria, and it was quite tough because I lost my mom at a very young age, so I was with my dad for most of the time, and then he was, into a lot of things that are quite dangerous and putting myself in danger. So I got the opportunity with my uncle to leave the country, and we came over here and then decided to, go seek refuge in the country to at least, go somewhere be safe. I was 15 years old, and at that point in time, when I came to Ireland, I knew I didn't know anybody. After, I think from the airport coming into Dublin, I was looking at all the houses and I was disappointed. I'm like, there are no skyscrapers here. Yeah, all the houses look alike, And everybody were walking very fast. Yeah. Everybody just walking too fast. I was like, where are you guys trying to get to? The accent as well. That was a big challenge. My uncle, who was an agent, just said, okay, what you're going to do is go to the Justice Department. So I could go in there and say, here I am. Then I did that and he disappeared. Until today, I haven't seen him. The Justice Department, okay, they called me in. I was in my bag, a very small bag. And I think I had a short sleeve shirt on. It was still sunny back home. It was freezing here. There was a counter there, and I was speaking to somebody there. And started asking me various questions. Where am I from? This and that. Where is my passport? I said, my passport is my uncle. It's outside there. It told me to come in here and to answer all the questions you guys asked me. They told me to wait for a few more minutes or so. And then somebody came and then took me to a hostel. First and foremost, I was trying to get a school, You just basically told to go look for a school yourself. So you walk around, seeing what kind of school you want to go to, and you go and you start the school. You're not getting much anyway. You're getting 19, 10, for the whole week. So getting lunch and all these things is quite tough then. So that 1910 just covers everything else apart from, breakfast, lunch, if you're not lunch, and dinner, breakfast and dinner, yeah. And if you're not there, if you're not there, say I won't be there at a certain time, you miss that. So you always have to be in there. If you're not in there, then you miss it. If you ask them, please, can you keep something for me? They don't do that for you. They have various shifts. One person, for various shifts. Say in the morning time, the afternoon, the evening. So there's one person, and there are about 40 kids in there, and there's just one person. They have nice ones, and they have some that you don't talk to at all. Like if you're sick, it's up to you to get yourself to the GP or whatever. It's up to you to do that yourself. Nobody's gonna look after you. It's not a place to live. You can't live there. We all see it as a place you must go through. You just go through it, but some people are still living there for a long time now. I don't think anybody would like to live in a hostel. So I was in a hostel for a year and a half. Then I got correspondence back from the Justice Department saying to come in for an interview. So I was around 16 this time. It was all addressed to an adult, not me. I'm like, what the heck? I'm not an adult, This doesn't make any sense, So My social worker told me to just fill that in. So I did. I sent it back off, and a couple of days later, I got a call for interview, and that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. I felt like I was in a court scene where you had a judge and you had two lawyers there, and there I was. You were asked about, very obvious things like, why didn't I just leave from Lagos straight away and things like that. And like I was trying to, get out of the situation there, and not even asking me. I didn't plan all these things. And I told them, look, this man planned every single thing for me, and I just had to make sure I get myself there. That why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You're like, I'm a kid, for crying out loud. How am I supposed to know? I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that as well. So at the end of the interview, I felt very bad. I felt a part of me was just, taken away from me, I went in there thinking about something else, and I'm coming out, feeling like a criminal. So I didn't get that one. It even made it worse that you are living in a hostel, because you come in and who do you talk to? You talk to your friends who are in the same position as well, and it just feels like there was no form of escape from that. You were constantly surrounded in that situation. People I've met, in my time in the country, who were not associated with the hostel, or who were not, refugees or asylum seekers. You talk to them about it because, they don't know. They didn't know what was going on. And when you explain to them, they're like, "What? Are you serious?" I say, "Yes, this is what I'm going on. This is what I'm going through at the moment." I felt like, it was a period of time in my life that I don't think if I was somebody else, I wouldn't have, been able to cope with it, because it's very demanding mentally. Because at some point, you finish school, and then you're waiting. You don't hear anything back for, say, 5 years. You're still there, so you just stay at home. You eat, sleep, stay at home, do nothing, and it ruins your life. There's a friend of mine right now who is mad, just from that. For 3 years, you're doing the same thing. You go mad. He went mad. He went mad. He was put in the hospital. It's not a good sight, I just couldn't believe he was the same person, Someone who was very lively, we used to play football together, and the next day he couldn't even walk. Like, he was struggling to walk, It's just it was a very painful thing to see, Frustration, boredom, and just, if you wake up in the morning, you don't leave that room, you're still in the same surrounding, you don't go anywhere for 2 years, 3 years, How can that be good? I don't think that can be good, There was a point in time where a lot of people were disappearing, and people who I knew, at a point you just don't see them anymore, like, gone. Like, it happened to one of my Chinese friend I had, and another Nigerian as well, The next day, just no sign of them, and we asked them what happened, was it transferred to another hostel, and we don't know. And his things were still there, obviously, so his things were still there, so you're like, this is not somebody who just upped and left. His things are still there. So they didn't give any answer because they don't know what happened to him. And so today, nobody knows, where he went to or what happened to him, But I don't want to think, I just want to think in my head that he's somewhere else, living happily and living safe, So I was waiting, and just before my leaving cert, I got a letter saying that they don't want me in the country anymore. I need to leave in the next couple of weeks. I need to report myself to the immigration, and then they will process me getting out of the country. And I'm like, Okay. All right. I feel like it. This is it now. A TD who knows a teacher in my school. The teacher went up to the TD and brought my case up to him. And the TD then went to talk to Mr. McDowell, who was the justice minister at that point in time. Everybody knew McDowell. And he was a very tough man. And but luckily for me, he decided to, as an exceptional measure, to allow me remain in the country. But now I had leave to remain in the country, so at that point in time I was a lot, settled. I said, okay, why not? I'll do my living search, give all I have. There might be, a light at the end of this dark tunnel. It's quite hard, to let all that go and leave all that in the past. It's quite hard because it follows you, it's still part of who you are. All in all, I'm happy now. I'm glad now. It took a very long time, to get where I am now, and it's, even though I'm just at the very beginning, it's still a good place to be.